So let us solve the 13th question of paper 1. This is from section 3 guys. So this is a numerical value type of question guys. Just take care about the values because you may go wrong somewhere. Just take care about it. So 5 ml of 0.1 molar oxalic acid solution taken in a conical flask is titrated against NaOH from a burette using phenolphthalein indicator. So you are titrating oxalic acid with NaOH and the indicator is phenolphthalein. The volume of NaOH required for the appearance of permanent faint pink color is tabulated below. For 5 experiments, what is the concentration in molarity of NaOH solution? So these are the volumes of NaOH given to us. So what we'll do is first we'll find out the average volume out of all. So the average volume of NaOH will be how much? The average volume comes to 10 ml. Okay, so how will I go about it? So this will be equivalence of H2C2O4 is equal to equivalence of NaOH. Okay, so when I say equivalence of H2C2O4, what will be the equivalence of H2C2O4 guys? 5 into 0.1. And for oxalic acid, you have 2 H plus ions, right? So if I have 2 H plus ions, so this will be 5 into 0.1 into 2, and this will be equal to what? This will be equal to volume of NaOH into the normality of NaOH. So this will be how much? Normality of NaOH will be 0.1. So molarity of NaOH is how much? It is 0.1. So your answer is guys 0.1. Okay, so let us move on to the next question, that is question number 14th guys. Looks lengthy. Let's try it out guys. Consider the reaction A reversibly giving you B at 1000 Kelvin. At time t, the temperature of the system was increased to 2000. So initial temperature is 1000 and then it is increasing to 2000 and the system was allowed to reach equilibrium. Throughout this experiment, the partial pressure of A was maintained at 1 bar. Given below is the plot of partial pressure of B with time. What is the ratio of standard Gibbs energy of the reaction at 1000 Kelvin to that at 2000 Kelvin? We have to find out del G naught at 1000 divided by del G naught at 2000. We have to calculate this value guys, and for calculating this, first we'll have to find out what is del G naught at 1000 and what is del G naught at 2000, right? So let us look at the values of K. So if you're talking about Kp at 1000, so this will be Pb by Pa. Kp at 2000 Kelvin, so this will also be Pb by Pa, right? But what is the pressure of B at 1000? What is the pressure of B at 1000? Let's see. If you're talking about 1000 Kelvin, the pressure of B is 10. Pressure of B is how much? 10. So Kp is how much? Kp is 10 because partial pressure of A is maintained at 1 throughout. If you're talking about B at 2000, what is the pressure at 2000? Pressure at 2000 is 100. So this is 100. So we have got the values of Kp at 1000 and Kp at 2000. Simply what we have to do is we have to write the equation for del G at 1000 and 2000. So what is that? It is minus RT ln 10 divided by minus RT ln 100. So one temperature is what? One temperature is, let's say I'm calling this as T1 and I'm calling this as T2. So this will be what? This will be 1000 divided by 2000, okay, into 1. This is multiplied by 2. So what is the value over here? This will be 1 by 4. Answer to this question is 0.25, guys. Okay, looks like a very lengthy question, but if you can extract the data properly, you will be easily able to get the answer, guys. Okay, so answer is 0.25, guys. Okay, let us solve the next question, that is question number 15, guys. Question from electrochemistry and thermodynamics as well. It is a mixed question. Let's see. Consider a 70% efficient hydrogen oxygen fuel cell working under standard conditions at 1 bar pressure and 298 Kelvin. Let us quickly isolate a few things. That is 70% efficient, guys. Okay, H2 gas plus half O2 giving you H2O. The work derived from the cell on consumption of 1 into 10 to the power minus 3 moles of H2 is used to compress 1 mole of monoatomic ideal gas in thermally insulated container. So if it is a thermally insulated container, guys, just remember that Q is equal to 0. What is the change in temperature in Kelvin of the ideal gas? We have to calculate del T, guys. We have to calculate what? We have to calculate del T. The standard reduction potentials for two half cells are given below. O2 plus 4H plus 4 electrons giving you 2H2O, E naught is 1.23, and for hydrogen electrode it is what? It is 0. We have to use the data. F is 96,500, R is 8.314. Okay, so how will we go about it? First of all, we'll have to find out the work done. And for work done, what do we require? For work done, we require del G naught, right? So how do I calculate del G naught? For del G naught, I will require E naught. So my equation is given over here. That is H2 plus half O2 giving you H2. So what will be E naught for this cell, guys? E naught for this cell will be 1.23 volts. Yes, because for standard hydrogen electrode it is 0. For standard hydrogen electrode it is 0. So for the entire cell it will be how much? It will be 1.23 volts. Okay, so that we know. So if we quickly calculate the value of del G. So what is del G naught over here? Del G naught over here will be equal to minus NF into E naught. How many moles of electrons are transferred, guys? 2 moles of electrons are transferred. Yes or no? So this is minus 2 into 96,500 into 1.23. So this is the value of del G naught for 1 mole of hydrogen gas, guys. Okay, how many moles of hydrogen gas is given to us? We are given 1 into 10 to the power minus 3 moles of hydrogen gas, and the efficiency is how much? The efficiency is only 70%, guys, and we know that whatever work is done is equal to what? Whatever work is done is equal to the value of del G naught, right? So W will be how much? Work done will be equal to 2 into 96,500 into 1.23. This is for 1 mole, guys. Okay, and if the cell is 100% efficient, this is the value, right? But it is not for 1 mole. It is for 1 into 10 to the power minus 3 moles of hydrogen, and efficiency is 70%. So I'll multiply here by what? I multiply here by 0.7. So this will be equal to how much? This will be equal to 166.17 joules. Okay, so we have got the work done. Now what we have to calculate? Let's see. We have to calculate delta T, guys. You have to calculate delta T. Q is equal to 0. It's a thermally insulated container, guys. It is a thermally insulated container. So whatever work is done will be utilized for what? Will be utilized for change in the internal energy, right? So if I go for this, so W will be equal to what? W will be equal to del U. How do I calculate del U, guys? Del U can be calculated as NCV del T. Yes. For a monoatomic gas, what is CV? For a monoatomic gas, it is 3/2R. Yes or no? So W is equal to, for 1 mole, it is given in the question, 3/2R into del T. Del T is what we have to calculate. So if I solve this question, if I solve this equation, what do I get? So del T is equal to 2 into 166.17 divided by 1 into 3R. On solving this, what do I get? I will get delta T as 13.32 Kelvin. So that is your final answer, guys. Very lengthy sum. You have to be careful at every step so that your final numerical value matches with the answer, guys. So be very careful while solving this sum, guys. Okay. Let us move on to the next question, guys. Okay, that is question number 16th.